You're listening to Espresso Knowledge. I'm your host, Sensei of Stories. Every week, I adapt research stories from Canadian universities for my podcast. The length of each story is the time it takes me to make a shot of espresso. This week, we have stories from McMaster, Concordia, Ryerson, Toronto, and Ottawa. Enjoy. Citizen groups, city bureaucrats, and municipal politicians are spearheading urban agriculture policies in African cities like Nairobi, Kampala, and Dar es Salaam. Ryerson University's Christopher Gore found that national governments do not often prioritize developing urban agriculture in sub-Saharan African countries like Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. He has studied food security, agriculture, and climate change there since 2012. His research shows how urban politics and city groups can come together to help its citizens. Urban or city-based agriculture ranges from small rooftop gardens to raising livestock. It's a major food source for all income levels and creates jobs, especially for women and youth. But importantly, it helps save water, reduces erosion, and provides green space, all necessary to protect against climate change impacts. Globally, cities including Toronto are trying to learn from each other about urban agriculture and develop sustainable food systems. A newly designed skin patch has the potential to prevent low blood sugar levels or hypoglycemia in diabetics. The first of its kind microneedle patch is sensitive enough to detect hypoglycemia and in response inject the hormone glucagon through 100 tiny needles into the bloodstream. It was designed by a team led by University of Toronto's Shirley Wu. Hypoglycemia causes sweating, shaking, confusion, seizures, and even death. Severe cases are treated with emergency injections or nasal glucagon sprays. Diabetics or their caregivers need to recognize the symptoms and quickly deliver emergency treatments. This is challenging for those who are unaware of the symptoms or cannot handle complex treatments. Wu's disposable one-time use patch currently prevents hypoglycemia in animal models. More research needs to be done before trials can begin, but the painless and minimally invasive patch can potentially transform diabetes treatment and care. Bumblebees are the best, most effective pollinators in wild landscapes and for crops like tomatoes, squashes, and berries. University of Ottawa and University College London researchers found that the likelihood of bumblebee populations surviving in a given place over a single human generation has declined by an average of over 30%. Bumblebees are disappearing in areas of North America and Europe where temperatures have gotten hotter. The study shows a future with far less bumblebees and much less crop diversity. Climate change is related to growing risk of animal extinctions around the globe. Predictive tools developed by the researchers potentially answer how, where, and why these extinctions will occur. The tools could be applied to track extinction levels for reptiles, birds, and mammals. It will help to identify areas where conservation efforts would be critical to stopping declines. CBG, a chemical compound made by cannabis plants, may be the first step towards new drug development. A McMaster University team led by Eric Brown discovered antibacterial properties of CBG when tested in mice. The findings suggest real therapeutic potential for cannabinoids such as CBG as antibiotics. It's particularly effective against a drug-resistant family of bacteria called MRSA. Currently, Brown and his team are trying to increase the targeting specificity of CBG and make it less toxic. The researchers have been studying the antibiotic potential of cannabis since marijuana legalization in Canada. There has been some stigma of investing in this kind of research, Brown notes. But given the increasing anecdotal evidence of medicinal cannabis, that stigma seems to be waning. People are using Tinder for more than just dating and sex. Since 2016, Concordia University's Stephanie Duguay has studied news that cover creative ways in which people use Tinder. She found Bernie Sanders campaigners' anti-smoking accounts and concert promotions. People pay attention to one another on Tinder, and the app can be used for political, economic, and social activities beyond dating. Duguay came across profiles created by anti-sex trafficking campaigns warning users to watch for non-consensual sex work. On the other hand, a female Sanders political campaigner frequently received hostile messages from men who were frustrated that she wasn't looking for romantic or sexual connections. Duguay suggests that Tinder prioritize user safety but also encourage creativity in a way that is meaningful to people's lives. Thanks for listening. Check out researchstoryteller.com for links to this episode's articles. I'm your host, Sensei of Stories.